In this video, we are going to find the slope of a straight line that goes through the points, this point and this point. We are going to use the slope formula, which is m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And I have labeled the points here on a straight line. This is a sketch. And now we are going to take these points and plug it into the formula and simplify to find the slopes. However, look, in the first point there is fractions and decimals involved. So is in the second point. So now, in order for simplicity, I'm going to convert the decimals into fractions. The reason is that we are trying to avoid repeating scenario. After decimal, you could have repeating numbers, so that could potentially introduce sort of approximation. Look, this point 7 over 3, negative 7 over 3 is going to be negative 2.33 repeating. So we want to avoid that kind of scenario. So what I am going to do, I'm going to convert all the decimals into fractions. Negative 0.25 is negative 1/4, as you know, comma 1/6, and this point is going to be 0.4. By the way, please note 0.4 is the same as 4 over 10. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times, so which is 2/5. So it's going to be 2/5, comma negative 7/3. Now I'm going to label these points. I'm going to label the first point x1, y1, and label the second point x2, y2. Now I'm going to take these points and plug it into this formula. My y2 is here, negative 7/3, negative 7/3, minus, this minus is actually this minus y1, which is 1/6, this one, divided by x2, which is 2/5, minus x1, and this minus is this minus. My x1 is negative 1/4, so I'm going to have to put negative 1/4 inside the parenthesis. Now I'm going to simplify it. It's going to be negative 7 over 3 minus 1 over 6 divided by 2 over 5. This negative and negative is going to make it positive if we multiply it, plus 1/4. Now we have got to combine the terms in the numerator and terms in the denominator. These are fractions. So to combine fractions, we need to have the same denominator, meaning we must have to find the LCD first, okay? So what is the LCD of 6 and 3, which is 6? So I'm going to multiply this by 2 and divide this by 2. That way I'm going to have 6 in the denominator here. On the bottom, LCD of 5 and 4 is 20, so I'm going to multiply this by 4 and divide this by 4, and multiply this by 5 and divide this by 5. Now I have a situation where I can simplify things. So in the numerator is going to be 2 times 7, 14, and there is a negative sign in front, divided by 6, minus 1 divided by 6, and then in the denominator 4 times 2, 8, divided by 20, plus 5 times 1 is 5, divided by 5 times 4 is 20, which by the way is going to give me in the numerator 6 in the denominator of the numerator, minus 14 minus 1. In the denominator I'm going to have 8 plus 5 over 20. If I simplify it further, I'm going to get negative 15 over 6 in the numerator, and in the denominator is going to be 13 over 20. If I simplify it further, it's going to be negative 15 over 6 times the denominator is going to flip. That's going to give me 20 over 13. Now there is some cancellation that's going to take place here. 2 goes into 6 3 times and 2 goes into 20 10 times, which by the way is going to give me the following. In the denominator, nothing else cancels, so nothing else is going to cancel. In the denominator, 3 times 13 is 39. In the numerator, 10 times 15 is 150. That is, by the way, our slope. By the way, there is a negative here, so negative 150 over 39, that is the slope. Now let's go ahead and write it out here. My slope m is equal to negative 150 over 39. Actually, there is something else cancelling. I didn't notice it. 3 goes into 15 5 times, so I can do it here. 3 goes into this 39 13 times, 3 goes into 50, 150 50 times. So my slope is going to be negative 50 over 13. That's going to be the slope of the straight line. Now note that the slope is negative here. The slope of this straight line is negative, meaning as you go from left to right, the line goes down. So this slope, negative value, as you go from left to right, the line goes down. And also it says that the slope is negative 50 over 13. That tells you if you go down 50 units, you're going to move to the right by 13. Or if you move to the left by 13 units, you're going to go up by 50 units. I hope that this discussion was helpful. Thank you very much.